guys, so this video is going to be about basically my tonsils and everything. If you watched my other videos, I said how I wasn't going to be able to be making any during my whole tonsil removal and all that. And the recovery actually took a lot longer than it was supposed to. And I got a message from somebody asking how I was doing. And I said before that I would let you guys know about the whole process and whatnot. So, I got my tonsils out, I don't remember, it was a Wednesday, I know that, and they're like, oh yeah, you should feel good in a week to 2 weeks at the most, and I'm like, okay, not bad. So, I actually have video clips of me after when I get out of the anesthesia and stuff that I'll be posting later on after I end them and stuff, but, so, I went in, obviously got like an IV and all that, whatnot, and then I went in and got my tonsils out. It only took like a half hour, I guess, and then I woke up, and I wasn't in any pain or anything, and they asked me, they're like, oh, what's your pain right now? I'm like, oh, 3 or 4, like, it wasn't bad, and so they gave me medicine anyways, and ice chips. And they gave me a popsicle. Okay, so my favorite popsicles are red. You cannot eat red popsicles. I was so mad. All you can have is, like, other colors. Well, obviously, every other color but red. But because I guess red looks like blood, and if it's bleeding, then, yeah. But I wasn't happy. But I had to stick with orange. Red would have been so much better. But anyways. So, apparently all I wanted was Kendall from Big Time Rush. And I was like crying for him, weird, but I said how we're getting married, and yeah, so that would have been cool, but I actually got some of that on video, so yeah, I'll be posting it. So this is what happened. Later that day, I was done by like noon, and I went home. I slept the whole way home, and it's like an hour drive back to my house, and what happened? Oh, they gave me antibiotics and pain medicine and stuff. The pain medicine I had to take every 4 hours, and the antibiotic they gave me was like this white stuff. It's like powder, and there was liquid on top, and you had to shake it, and it was like chunky, and it was disgusting. So I took it that day, and I took it that night actually, because we had to go to the store or the pharmacy and pick it up or whatever. So then I went to bed, and I woke up, and it was like 1 in the morning, and I was saying how bad my stomach hurt. I was like, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna be sick. My dad's like, no, you can't be sick, you can't throw up, your throat was gonna start bleeding, because that's what they said my throat can split back open, because what they do is they don't like cut them out, they burn them out, so it's like all inside, it turns like white and disgusting, and so that's what they did. It could like cut open and start bleeding. So I was sitting at my kitchen table, and if you don't like gory stuff, then you might want to skip ahead because it's gross. But I was sitting at my kitchen table, and they gave me this weird thing that wraps around my neck because it was swelling up, and I sat there with that on my neck and my head down because I felt so nauseous. And I'm like, Dad, you gotta give me a bowl. You gotta give me a bowl. I can't make it to the bathroom. And I probably could have, but I just threw up. And it bled a little bit, but not bad. But because my throat was so swelled up, your little hangy ball thing, it's like uvula or something, but my little hangy ball thing was so big, it like took up my whole throat, and the sides were so huge, and so throw up couldn't come up as much as it should have, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, so I only got a little bit up and a little bit of blood, and then, but they're like, oh, my dad called the doctor, well, the next morning, it was like, she's throwing up, and, we think it's from the antibiotic, because she was fine before she took it, and after she took that, she was complaining how her stomach was hurting her, And so they're like, okay, well, she doesn't really need the antibiotic. It's just to, like, make sure that you don't get sick and all that. So just take her completely off it. We're like, okay. So the days are going on, and it's getting worse. It's getting so bad and so swelled up. The pain medicine wasn't doing anything for me. And they're like, oh, well, it should be working. And they wouldn't prescribe me anything else. And I'm like, it's really not working. Like, I was crying nonstop because it hurt so bad. And I couldn't sleep. And when I did take the pain medicine, all it did was make me sleep, but it didn't help the pain. So I couldn't sleep. And I was up pretty much all night crying. I couldn't even sleep in my own room. I had to sleep in the living room because it's closer to the bathroom, and I was freaking out that I was going to be sick. And I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. They're like, oh, cold stuff will feel good. No, nothing feels good going down. So I kept forcing water down because they told me I need to stay hydrated. And so maybe it's like, I'm not even sure what day it was. Maybe day 5, I think. And nothing was still getting better. And now I was having such a hard time breathing. It just felt like my chest, like there was something on it, and I was like I couldn't breathe. So my dad calls the doctor again. And by the way, it hasn't even been my real doctor, like my real ears, nose, throat doctor. He decided to go on vacation after he did my surgery. And so we had to like call these other doctors and everything, and they're like, we'll take her to the emergency room because I had a little fever too. And so I go to the emergency room, and I was so dehydrated. They had to give me 2 liters. I think it was like 2 liters. How much? I don't know. They gave me 2 big bags of fluid, and they took blood, like 3 things of blood from this arm, and then they'd take some from this arm. And I don't do good with needles at all. I freaked out about my IV, because I swear, those nurses did it wrong. They stuck an IV in me, and it just hurt. Like, normally an IV is, like, I've had quite a few IVs before, and normally an IV, you just leave it be, and it's fine. Well, they stuck the IV in me, and it just hurt, and stung, and I was like, you gotta take some of me. They're like, we can't. I'm like, okay. So then I got x-rays done, and they come back, and they're like, oh, you have pneumonia. So, doctor decided to take me off my antibiotic, and, well, you know, I get pneumonia. They said it was from when I threw up, since I couldn't come up because my throat was so swollen, that it all just went in my lungs. So they had to give me more medicine, a different antibiotic that still tasted disgusting, and I had to take that for 5 days. And maybe like day 10 is when I actually started to feel normal. Well, not normal. I could actually like eat food. Like I ate mashed up mac and cheese. I had some potatoes, and yeah. So then on day, it had to be maybe day 14. They're like, oh, you should be fine by now. You can go back to work. You can do that. I couldn't go back to work. I had to take the whole another week off because now my scabs are falling off. They're bleeding. They're getting stuck in my throat. Any food that I try to eat are now getting stuck in the holes and making it hurt so bad. And I found the only thing that actually is like helping me heal is I made green tea in my Keurig and added tons of honey. And that's the only thing that I could. There's like a bug flying around here. Okay, that's weird. But it was like the only thing that I could drink. Everything else, like cold afterwards, cold hurt so bad because it's like hot and healing and then just stung. But yeah. So it took me about 3 weeks to actually be able to get back to normal and talk. And I don't want to sound mean or anything, but I sounded like I had, what's that thing called? I don't know. It's some like mentally challengedness. I don't know, but I couldn't say any words that started with an LT, and I still can't sing. They're like, oh, it could take 3 months for you to be able to sing. 3 months for me to be able to sing? That sucks. But I'll show you a picture of what my throat looked like. It is disgusting. I don't even know if it'll show up on here. Yeah. That's gross. I don't even know if I can like show you now. it's normal now, and like the holes are starting to close up, and everything's getting good. And it still hurts, like swallow, it just feels like a sore throat, but not like a really bad one, not like strep or anything. But so yeah, anybody that's getting their tonsils out, hopefully you don't have as bad as experience as me. They say the older you are, the like harder it's gonna be. When I went to the ER, they're like, oh my god, like this lady said that she got hers out when she was 19, and it was the worst experience ever. It was worse than giving birth. It was so now that I got that over with, hopefully birth is easy when I'm older. But so that's pretty much my experience, and hopefully nobody else has to go through it because it sucks. Like, sucks so bad. And that's really it. If you have any questions, I'll answer them. Just comment below. And I'll try to edit those videos of the anesthesia and stuff to post. That's the hiccups. And so yeah, comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.